evening. Welcome back to another episode of the Encouraging Woman She Speaks podcast, season 2, episode 4. Good evening. We are so excited to be back. I am your host, Ashley D, followed by my co-host, Dr. Storm.
Doctor. I worked hard for that, y'all. So I gotta make sure I get it off my chest.
Say what you said, chest, Dr. Storm. Welcome back, guys. Today is Monday. I know today is not our usual day that we typically do our podcast, but today is a special edition.
Yes.
I am so eagerly excited for this one, guys.
Ooh.
Like, oh my gosh. How was your day, Dr. Storm? First and foremost, we always got to ask these questions.
It was great.
Yeah.
But it was challenging.
It was.
But I was looking forward to tonight's podcast
Yes.
and all of the good information that
Yes.
we're about to receive. And just to sit a part of this amazing, beautiful, intelligent, young, I call everybody young, tenderal. But no, I admire her so much. And this is just such an amazing to even have this level of a platform with her tonight and
Yes.
just speak to her
Yes.
on this level. So I'm excited.
Listen, I'm beyond excited. I think about as we continue on our podcast journey, I can't believe we're going to be 1 year of podcasting, y'all, in January.
My birthday month, that's the best month, y'all.
Listen, no, it ain't y'all. So I'm so excited because I think about the journey of just building a platform.
Yeah.
I saw something on Instagram and it stated you have to start somewhere. Everyone starts from zero.
Yes.
And then they continue to build upon creating new followers, creating a new audience.
Mhm.
And I'm so thankful that we just been pushing. We've been persevering through everything.
Right?
And I'm just thankful for this platform. We did that.
Yes, yes. And the guests that we have on and the guests that we continue to have on to bring in to just pour into you guys every other Tuesday. But tonight,
It's a Monday, y'all.
it's gonna be good.
The Monday has been Monday.
How was your day, Ashley?
Man, today was an emotional roller coaster. I can't sing, y'all, but today has been
She
really.
been singing all day.
I have been. Today was one of those days I was like, okay, I just want to do a reset and redo.
Mm.
And I made it home and just took a quick little nap before I came because I'm like, I need to reset, get my mind prepared. I'm always trying to make sure I'm giving out the best information possible when we're doing our podcast. And this one was just one that was near and dear to my heart. As I was thinking, we always pre-plan how we're going to do things, how we're going to be able to continue to stand out amongst all the other podcasts.
Right.
I believe this is one that gives some great quality information.
Right.
We're not sitting here just kikiing it. We're also trying to make sure we're educating our audience,
Yes.
our community, shall we say.
That you take away an experience and have a good experience when you disconnect
Yeah.
and log back in 2 weeks later
Yes.
when you come to the podcast.
Yes.
I agree. But you look good though.
You look amazing.
You don't look like what you've been through today.
Listen, if only y'all knew. I'll talk about it in my memoir.
Yes.
So today, of course, tomorrow is a special day.
Mhm.
But before we talk about tomorrow, we're going to talk about this wonderful, amazing leader of the community.
Yes.
I can tell you guys so many interactions I've had with Commissioner.
Powwows.
Listen, I say to myself, like, Ashley, you got a relationship with your commissioner, girl. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And as I was taking my time, I like to look at who we're bringing on, their experience, their history.
Right.
And she's a Fort Lauderdale native. Like,
She been here all her life.
she been here all her life. It reminds me of us, how we just grew up in the city and we're like thriving and just continuously growing. I'm just like, I can't wait to see what we look like in the next 20 years, God willing, the next 20 years and everything. But as I look at her just accolades, like her name speaks for herself.
That's right.
The city of Fort Lauderdale Commissioner, Miss Pamela Beasley-Pittman of District 3.
Come on.
Come to the stage.
Commissioner.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Ladies, you all both are just so energetic. And guess what? I'm going to feed off of this and we're going to have a great time.
Yes.
But good evening, Dr. Storm, Ashley D. Good evening to you all. I am, when I tell you, humbled to be on your platform tonight. Thank you for thinking of me and including me in this opportunity. Thank you.
Listen, thank you for saying yes.
It was almost like she said yes. Ooh, I'm a little nervous.
We got that email. It's like, ding. I was like,
because you are so amazing,
Yes.
Commissioner, and the things that you're doing in the community. It's just, you know.
Listen, Commissioner, you're a busy woman.
Yes.
Every time I check your social media, I'm like, how does she do it? Like, you're in 10 places
at one time.
Well, let's go with this because the word busy really like frazzes me out,
Oh,
spazzes me
okay.
out.
I
So I
got you.
use the word productive. I
Come
tell
on.
everybody I'm being productive
Yes.
because there is much to do, many opportunities, and trying to be in the places where we can make the impact.
That's right.
And if I think about it, we may have a situation. So I just, I tell staff, I said, this is what you do. Give
Yeah.
me the agenda 7 o'clock the night before. That
Yes.
way I don't have that whole week ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not overwhelmed with what we're doing. So
Yes.
that works for me.
It's
So I have an amazing staff. I have to give shout out to well,
Yes.
you heard the clean boo. Give a shout out
I
to
love it.
both Jeanette Frey and Jamil Walker. They're my
Yes.
chief of staff and my assistant community outreach personnel. And I am blessed by God to have them in my corner. So they help me stay balanced where
Yes.
we, make the impact and
Yes.
not just showing up in a sense for what I like to say. I'm not doing a photo op. I
Yes.
want to be there to where I'm allowed to, plant a seed
Yes.
because
Awesome.
that's what it's all about. I just don't want to be in a room and say, "Hey, I told you this is what you do."
Yeah. Yeah.
She went out.
Hold on. It's okay. Commissioners, there you go. We live, y'all, so don't worry.
Okay.
They're back.
Yes, we
We're
are.
back. Commissioner, one thing I will say, you are one when you show up on the scene, you're working. I look at you every year. You come and help us with the turkey drive.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not just a photo opportunity for her. She's out there working, speaking to the community, and just in good words of encouragement.
Yeah.
At all
Yes.
events I've ever been to. And that's what really keeps inspiring us
Yes.
as we continue to build upon with everything that we're doing.
Yes.
Like,
It's amazing. I remember when I first met you,
yep.
and you just started pouring into me as a stranger. And I'm just like, you know what? I always believe sitting at the table of wisdom.
Yeah.
And the way that you was just dropping them gems in that short period of time, it sticks with me to this day because I always think about when we talked about balance.
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
talked about being so productive and you
Mhm.
gave some amazing scriptures. So I was like, yes.
Well, I give God the glory, and
Every time.
whenever I have an opportunity, I tell people, I see myself as a servant. I don't see myself as a politician.
Yes.
This what I'm doing is a mission from God, and I'm just gonna, if you allow me, I'm just gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
share
Come on.
how we got to this place because
Yes.
being a commissioner was not a check off
Yes.
box for me. It
Mhm.
wasn't in my purview. Um, I had worked for the sheriff office 32 years. I walked in the door when I was 19 years old. I
Okay.
started as a 911 operator. From there, I transferred over into the warrants unit, and
Okay.
from there, I was what they labeled a extradition specialist. So
Okay.
it was my job to secure and bring those fugitives who had fled the county, fled the state, back for prosecution. So I like to tell people I was a travel agent for prisoners. So
Yes.
okay. So I put that out there because that was a very unique job in itself.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had brought individuals back. The farthest was Guam, the
Okay.
territory of Guam, and that was where the state attorney's individual had fled there. They was located, and the state attorney said we're bringing them back. So I had the privilege of arranging that to bring the person back. So
Mhm.
um, when I say that I'm a servant, for years, a 10-year span, I
Yes.
worked with the American Cancer Society for Relay for Life. I was the chairperson 8 of those years, and that was Relay for Life at Carter Park. It included Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes, and at that time, North Lauderdale was a part of our group. And, the point of spreading the awareness of what the organization offers for our services and the knowledge that we need to know about being proactive about our health. That was one of the drives. With the breast cancer, I lost my mom. My mom was 57 when she died of breast cancer.
Wow.
And, that's young. I know that now. She was very young when she
Yes.
passed. But
Right.
that was my driving force when I got involved with the Relay for Life. And it
Okay.
wasn't also just for me. It was
Right.
for my friends, my neighbors, my family to understand how important it is that we get our checkups, and there's opportunities where those mammograms, those checkups, there are free opportunities
Mm-hmm.
with follow up. So that was what I wanted to do when I was involved with it. And coming back to the conversation about being a commissioner, again, wasn't part of my purview. 2017, my husband and I, we knew we were retiring, had a little bit of drop money, and we were looking at moving to Ecuador.
Wow.
Yes, okay. And we were going to do some mission work
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
And I had been following at that time Calvary Chapel, and
Yeah.
they had on the books missionary for Ecuador. So we were really excited about that. But when I retired, how about it disappeared?
Really?
So I called and I'm like, well, what's going on? Because I had been tracking it every bit about 36 months because we had been talking about what we are going to do. And in my mind's eye, that drop money, you want to make it last. And,
Yes.
Ecuador, get land for, at that time, very reasonable. And, you could, in my mind, go and make the life that you want.
Yeah.
And, so that was my plan. God laugh at our plans.
I was
So
just thinking that.
but
Oh, wow.
within that, I had been the HOA president, Civic Association president for historic Dorsey River Bend with my neighbors. I had been doing that for a bit of a time period. And we in the community, we were so concerned about the efforts of the CRA, its sunsetting
Yeah.
date, and what still needed and what we wanted to see happen in the community. So
Right.
that became this passion within me. I got some time, I can do this. And I began, just working and being the voice for the neighbors and for what we were trying to accomplish. At this point, I always like to take people back when I tell this story because going back now, I say it's about 15 years. I can say clearly about 15 years. My husband's family is from a town in northern Florida, Stark, Florida.
Okay.
And we were there for a funeral service.
Wow.
And City Commissioner was there. Beautiful voice, black sister doing her thing.
Come
And
on.
you know how we say, oh, she doing it, I'm sizing her up, giving her props in my mind. And the Holy Spirit say, you will do that.
Wow.
Like,
So you heard him say that.
I heard him say that, but
Oh,
I
wow.
did not embrace it. I laughed.
Oh.
I did laugh. And I was like, because this is nothing. When I tell you, um, I have not been through political science. I have not taken a course in political science. No law, none of that. I am someone who enjoys being hands-on,
Yes.
speaking and representing who we are as a
Right.
community. Because, so fast forward, um, what happened next was things began to fall into place because Alcee Hastings, he passed away. So when he passed away, there was I'll say a domino effect where positions within our legislations and our local government begin
Right.
to become open because now people were aspiring for those different jobs they were moving
Right.
up.
Right.
So as people began to step aside from their positions, it left doors open. So Robert McKenzie, who's now my county commissioner, was also
Yeah.
my city commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was announced that he was going to retire from the position in order to pursue the county, I said, hey, this is what I want to do. So I
Wow.
made that conversation to him, and he was like, "You sure this is what you want to do?" I said, "Yes."
Yes.
Okay. So with that, he began to endorse me, and we began to do this campaign. And
Wow.
um, as if you remember, it was 4 African American females in the race,
Yeah.
prominent names, and I respect each one of those females that was a
Yeah.
part of the process,
Mm-hmm.
because any one of us, I believe, could have stepped in to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because having the heart for the community, listening and knowing what the community needs and desire,
Yes.
that's what I believe we all would have brought to the table.
Mhm.
Yes.
What I do say, I know that God ordained me for this position
You
and
did.
that I'm on a mission from God. And I tell that to everyone who will listen to me, because again, this wasn't what I had planned.
Right.
And I'm moving forward to do and be about my father's business,
Come on now.
and that's what we're going to do. And God is just loving. He's who
Yes.
he is.
Yes.
When we get weary, he gives us confirmation.
This is what I was
um
talking about, y'all. When she
She
look,
gonna drop the gems,
that's
y'all.
it.
Every
That's
time. Every
So for
time.
me, when I was campaigning, we started off, like with a great push. I
Yes.
didn't even realize how much it really cost to run a campaign.
Woo.
And
yes.
in my mind, I thought, you could probably do this for about 45, 50 grand.
Mm-mm.
And no,
Mm.
you can't.
No.
I should say no, you can't, but it would be challenging.
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be challenging. I won't say no, you can't. It will be challenging. Um, so we were connecting. We had great opportunities. The first month of my announcement being qualified, we brought in $39,000. Right,
Wow.
the first month.
That's
You
awesome.
know, it is awesome. And then I'm like, these people know me. These people want to
But they
write
want to
checks
support
They come.
for me. Exactly, for me.
it.
So, all excited. And that was June. July, it was a phantom, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I was like, Lord, what are you telling me? Did I not hear you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a daily devotion that morning, and the Holy Spirit's, well, where I was in a devotion. It
Yes.
was Luke chapter 1, verse 79.
That's a
And
good.
just in a summary, it talks about being a light in a dead place, bringing individuals back where they would come alive. So when I heard this, of course, I went into this praise. I
Yes.
called all of those who were in my prayer circle, and I gave them this testimony. And from there, we began to just push, and I haven't looked back. And
Ooh.
even to the point of this year, we are in the middle of the election cycle. That's why
Yes.
we're here tonight
Okay.
talking about elections. This June, because the seat that we campaigned for was
Mm-hmm.
the balance of the seat that Robert McKenzie had retired from. So when he resigned, there was still 2 years on the seat. So we had to do a whole election.
Wow.
Okay. So
Mm.
anything I believe over 18 months, you have to do an election.
Oh,
Election is held. It's a special election.
yes.
So we got through that. I'm sworn in. And as if you don't know, first African American
Yes, ma'am.
female elected as for the city of Fort Lauderdale's dais. So I am honored by that. And I tell people, I say, you all did that. I didn't, I surveyed, I canvassed, I knocked on
Yes.
doors, but it was your vote that
Yes.
made the difference. Now, if
Wow.
you would have stayed home and didn't come out to vote,
Talk
I
about
wouldn't be in this position. And this is what we need to know. And as
Yes.
we've talked further tonight, we're going to drive that point home even more so. But we have to be in the process. We can't sit on the sidelines being spectators. We have to
Right.
be participants. So
Absolutely.
this year, election cycle, do everything I need to do. I qualify, and I am reelected unopposed.
That is so
So I'm
true.
like, God, you're still revealing to me this is where you want me
Yes.
at this particular time. And
that's
I
right.
tell everyone, I said, we're gonna work on this season right now.
Yes.
And I'm let God work on the future. Because people are like, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And
Yes.
I'm gonna let God instruct me as to what is next.
Oh,
But
what's
this season,
Uh-huh.
We're all about our Father's business in
Yes.
part of Fort Lauderdale, District
Mhm.
3, and the city overall, because it's not just for District 3 what we're doing, it's for the city overall.
That is
Oh,
So
that's so
that's
good.
us. That's us.
Listen, Commissioner, you have just been paving the way for the next generation. From the moment I met you, I said, I aspire to be like her one day.
Mhm.
I kid you not. And I'm not into like politics or anything of that
Mhm.
nature. But every time I look at you and I'm in a room and I'm in awe
Yes.
of all the good work that you're doing because I
To
know
God
you're
be the
being
glory.
about your Father's business. So that is
Yes.
what just I gravitate towards every time
Mhm.
I'm with you.
It's just amazing just to be in your position. And as I said, from the first day of meeting you, you dropped the same scripture in our conversation.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
it was just so refreshing because
Mhm.
it's like, man, you hear somebody that's always saying, God is first.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
He's the way.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
God's mission. And you did not turn back.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Yes.
To
And
God be the glory.
that's
Yes.
the way I look at the podcast.
Mhm.
Oftentimes I'm saying to myself, I'm like, God, this is a lie. God's like, you can do this. Like, you never realize the mission that He's bestowed upon you. And then when you
Mhm.
get into it, you're like, okay, God continue to lead me. And that's literally what we're doing with this podcast.
To make sure,
That's it.
look, makes your path straight,
Yes.
right?
That's
Yes.
it. That's
Even
it.
when your
So,
enemy come, I'm not gonna preach today,
oh,
Commissioner.
come on, listen, listen. We'll put this message out here now.
Yes.
We did not share. I'm also an ordained minister. We
Woo!
haven't gone through that,
I knew it
so
was
we can
something.
listen here.
No, we can go. We can
We
change
can.
that.
I'm
Look,
always ready for my Father's business. So
Come on
whatever,
now.
however it leads, I am ready for us to be blessed. How He desires for us to be blessed tonight.
Commissioner, you said something that I wrote on my paper. You
Okay.
said that you desire to be the voice for the people.
Yes.
And I know even for me as a principal owner, as a realtor, it could kind of get like a little crazy. But
Yes.
when you're the voice for the people and you have that level of a platform to be the voice, it speaks in your work. And one of the things that I always say, especially with this upcoming election year and you hitting the pavement and just running with it, I always say when it comes to the elections, it's your rightful duty to
It
go
It's your
is.
and
civic duty.
vote.
It
Yep.
is. It is. And just a conversation with that. What I'm hoping to do while I'm here in this capacity
Yes.
is begin to help with that mindset to shift, to
Yes.
understand that yes, your voice, your vote matters.
Yes.
And I like to say I like to spend a lot of time with Generation Z and not Alphas, Generation Alpha,
Mhm.
because to me right now they are still moldable. They are hearing,
Yes.
they are accepting what we're also sharing with them.
Right.
And with that, we have to be proactive and make sure that we're providing them the
Yes.
nutrients that they need. And when I
Right.
say the nutrients, I'm talking about the knowledge and the wisdom that's going to help carry them forward.
That's good.
Because, I say this, they, millennials,
Mhm.
Generation Z, Generation Alpha, you all, and just when I'm on a cuff of a boomer. I don't know if I'm a boomer or something else they call us. I'm right in between.
You're right there
Right.
But
between us.
but what I like to say about that, each generation operates in the knowledge that they receive.
Yes.
Okay. There
Yes.
was things that my parents said to me, oh, you don't understand. I was here when you got here, the stories that we all hear, but we all have something to bring to the table
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
And, especially my generation, we were be seen, not heard. You could be in
Ooh.
a room, and the quieter you were, the more information you got. But as
Yep.
soon as you begin to ask a question, grown folks' business, sit down, get out the way. And that's something, at that time,
Yeah.
it may have applied.
Yes.
Okay. But moving forward, it
Mhm.
does not apply
At all.
because our children, they're so knowledgeable
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
they have information to add to a conversation. And what I mean by that, I mean being respectful. I don't mean,
Yeah.
disrespectful conversation.
Absolutely.
Everything has a balance and everything has a season. So with
Right.
our young people, we don't want to stifle them
Yes.
where they don't feel they have a voice.
That's
Because a
right.
lot of us are living trauma. You're trauma because you weren't allowed to speak.
Yes, that's true.
And should I say something or should I not? Is this the time to say something or is it not? And we should never feel like there's something to be said. My instruction to anyone and my suggestion, when you have something to say, when you say it respectfully,
Yes.
say it. But
Yes.
of course, you can't come at me. Okay, you can't come at me any kind of way, but
Come
we
on.
can definitely have a great dialogue, and
Right.
that becomes with respect meets respect, and in that space, we're able to accomplish much.
Awesome.
And what I'm putting out there, and whenever I have an opportunity, and I have it a lot, I
Mm-hmm.
invite my young people, my neighbors, my youngest neighbors. Look, we have work to do. We
Yeah.
need you to be a part of this plan. I
Yeah.
don't want you to wait 20 years to say, oh, we can do this because the time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right now, just for a conversation, the city of Fort Lauderdale, during our flood last year, April, we
Mm-hmm.
lost that city hall. It should
Yeah.
be completely demolition now. But
Wow.
we've been having conversations with our neighbors to know what would you like to see in the new city hall. And listen, who's showing up are people who are available, which is usually those who are retired,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those who may have a day off or working for home. But we have not been able to draw in millennials, generational Z, and
Mm.
the alphas. They're going to utilize this building to the max.
That's
Yes.
right.
Okay, I'm 60 years old. The
Yeah.
building that we're building, we want to have a lifespan of at least another 50 to 60 years old to
That's
60 years. So I'm not going to get 60 years out of this building.
Right.
right.
So the individuals who will get the 60 years out of the building, they
Mm-hmm.
are the ones I want to see at the table
Yes.
saying, this is what should be in the building. Because there's things I can't even, because of where I'm at in the lane that I'm in, I don't even know it's even available through technology.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. So we can't do it without them.
Yes.
That's right.
I am planning a succession plan because
Okay.
when I'm done in this position,
Mm-hmm.
when God said that's it, I want to be able to pass on the playbook
That's
for the
right.
next generation,
That's right.
whoever comes in next. We
Yes.
shouldn't have to go back to scratch and
Mm-hmm.
start over when we've been diligently working for 4 years, 48 months to
Ooh.
accomplish things. And maybe at the end of that term, there's something that's kind of pending.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't have a succession plan, the new quarterback comes in
That's
and
right.
doesn't know the play because we haven't shared the playbook. So
Wow.
I
Wow.
want to make sure we don't do that moving forward.
That's amazing.
That's
Because the young generation, the one of the things that they always say, Commissioner, is that they wish that the adults listen.
yep.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
twofold, right?
Yes.
But
It's
the
super.
one thing that they always say, and it's always consistent across the board,
Yes.
is that
Yes.
you have a voice also.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I want to be a part of that opportunity. And I put it out there. I give my business cards to both young and old. And when I say old, I like seasoned, whoever who's willing to take it, I give it to you. Because I like the idea that I have an 8-year old that I had a conversation with, told me he was going to be the mayor of the city,
Come on.
right? Let me
Into
give you the
existence.
end of that comment. I said, which city are you aspiring for? He said, oh, I'm gonna build my own city. It's gonna be named after me.
Come
Ooh,
on now.
that's what I'm
saying.
talking about.
Okay. All
Honor
right.
the
So
baby.
exactly. But all in that, and we're talking about voting, right? The
Yeah.
importance of voting. So with that, this is where we introduce our young people. We bring them in now so they
Yes.
can understand that they do have a voice.
Yes. I literally, when I went to vote, Commissioner, I took my 17-year-old son with
Mm-hmm.
me because I had to teach him, hey, son, this is what's next. And I
Mhm.
literally got the permission.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
worker said, please allow him to see what this process looks like. And he was like, Mom,
Yes.
y'all do all, and he looked and he was like, that's a lot of words.
He saw all the words and stuff on the paper.
He got so intimidated. But I just truly feel that the poll workers, I want to say, they have been doing an amazing job.
Yes, they have.
They recognize those that are first time voters, and they are so patient with our youth.
Yes.
And I commend them just in so many ways. But my son was in awe of it all. Just to see the journey, see what it looks like, because I have to get him ready to understand what is to come next for him next year.
Yes.
It's almost exposing them to, and I think that's a beautiful thing when you can have your 16 or 17-year-old starting to go vote with you. So when they do turn 18 and they're legal to vote, guess what? I have been through this with my parents, so I know what to do.
Exactly.
And then the poll workers, oh my God, the first time voters, they got that little thing up in their commission.
First time voters.
Everybody started celebrating.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. And we have to give a shout out to Joe Scott for making sure that atmosphere, that type of encouragement is spread throughout the poll workers, because this is a great opportunity for them. But also it's a temporary position. So sometimes with temporary, it's temporary. We don't come and embrace the whole concept. And the way that he's laid out the opportunity and what the expectations are for everyone, the temporary to the permanent, and he's doing an excellent job. He embodies that which our previous supervisor election, what she was all about. He carried that to the next level. So we are in good hands here in Broward County with Joe Scott.
That is amazing. I love it.
Just looking back, Commissioner, can you remember? I want to take you back. Do you recall? Well, of course you probably do. When you first voted, your first time going to vote.
Yeah. What was that like?
What was that moment like?
At that time, unfortunately, I can't remember who I voted for first. Okay, I don't know if it was a local election or a presidential election. In our home with my parents, mother and father, everybody registered, everybody voted. This was something we did. So I don't remember exactly if it was a federal for president or was it for local. But at that time, it was actually on the precinct was actually in one of our neighbors' garage.
Wow.
All right, listen to me now. We're going back to 1984. So we would go there, and the precinct, they had the garage, and they had a couple of the voting booths set up. It probably was no more about 4, but the precinct was directly in our neighborhood. So that part I remember. I remember being excited that I completed it, that I followed through. We registered in high school.
We did too.
We registered in high school. So, and I actually graduated when I was 17, because I was August. So by the time I graduated, my card came after the fact. But I was 17. But I just remember feeling like I had actually accomplished my civic duty. I had made my voice heard. I voted for the candidates that I wanted to. And what we would do as a family, we would talk about it. And then it wasn't, if they had mail-in ballots, it wasn't something where you only did that if you were going to be out of this area or you were sick. But going to vote was a great opportunity. And I would go with my mom when she would go to vote. So it was a family affair.
Wow.
So it was like a family tradition. That what it reminds.
Yes, exactly. And even with my girls, when they were younger, I would take them with me. And I don't know, because now I do more mail-in ballots. I do mail-in ballots. And then also, my girls are now adults, so I don't know if it's still an offer, but you would take them and they would have a little vote ballot for the kids to even participate. And it would be like, if you like peanut butter with jelly, or but
But
something for them
Something.
just to
to
fill out the
go through
bubble.
the process. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's what I remember. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more,
Yeah.
about who actually who I what election that was my first time vote. Yes.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I like the fact that it sounded to me when you were saying how you guys talked about it,
Hmm.
and you went with your mom. Several things is just running through my mind, and the only thing I could think about really was it was a tradition. So just
Yes.
as important as we celebrate the holidays, it was
Hmm.
almost like a non-negotiable. No, this is what we do in the family
Yes.
also. But you went to the table to actually vote knowledgeable.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
knew and you was able to be proud to say,
Right.
yes, this is who I voted for, and I actually made a difference today.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. 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 But I try that tradition is still with my family now. We do the same opportunity. We talk about it. Um, we this cycle we all did the mail in, and
Okay.
I went in and I dropped them in the ballot for everyone this time. But
Yeah.
we usually go in and vote. But I like the mail in ballot because my this is me vote
Yeah.
because there was one how we got into the opportunity for the mail-in ballots. One season, my husband was ill,
Mm-hmm.
and he had gone to the hospital, and it was like a week process. And he was every day they was promising he was going to be discharged.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he was discharged the election day at like 6 o'clock. So
Oh
we
Okay.
wow.
had to leave the
Get there.
hospital and
Mm-hmm.
go vote because we was like, we're not gonna miss it. And that was our main concern. He was feeling better
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
he wanted to vote and I wanted to vote. And we got there, when they say if you're online by a certain time, we were
Yeah.
online. So
Yep.
we were able
That
to vote.
cutoff.
So we said we would never let that happen again. So this
Okay.
opportunity for voting early, take advantage of it because we never know what's going to happen. We're
Yeah.
healthy in the morning. By
Mm-hmm.
the afternoon, you may be feeling ill. You may be in the hospital or accident, unfortunately. And those things prevent us for casting our vote. So the
Right.
early voting is really a great opportunity to say, hey, no matter what, I took care of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I took
it is.
care of it.
It
Yes.
is.
It has no lines.
No
You just
lines.
walk in like you a celebrity about to do something important,
Oh,
and
We
we
then
are. We are
it,
celebrities doing it
we
in court.
we go right to
Yes,
EPAT, get right
that's
on
it.
in and Pompano and in and out.
and get your sticker
No
and be proud
issues.
and do your
That's
selfie.
it.
I voted.
Like
That's
I
it.
love it. I get so much joy just being able to just be able to go and vote because we
Yeah.
gotta think of
Yes,
years ago we weren't able to
It
vote.
was not possible.
exactly. And it wasn't really that long ago.
And it's one of those things where it's very disheartening when I hear people say, "Well, my vote does
I
not
was
matter,"
just gonna say that.
or "Why should I vote?" And it's almost one of those things where that has become a tradition now of
Yes.
why should I vote? And it's
Mhm.
almost like, well, if you think about, let's go back a couple of years, we're not that far apart
You're not.
from when we're able. We got
Exactly.
the step to vote.
Hmm.
And I think that a lot of people has lost sight of we're not that far
We're not.
apart from when we couldn't vote.
And a lot of that I believe is we don't keep the story going.
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't have those conversations of what we were not I'm just not allowed to do. There's
Yeah.
no other way to say it. We were not allowed to do certain things.
Mm.
And I had a neighbor, Miss Jessie Adderley. She recently passed, probably about a little bit over a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've lived in my neighborhood for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was probably about maybe 5 years ago, just in a deeper conversation, she shared with me that here in Fort Lauderdale
Yes.
at
Mm-hmm.
the McCory's
Mhm.
downtown, which
Yes.
is where the governmental center in that area was right there. The building is actually still there. It's
Mm-hmm.
but her and a couple of friend girls, they actually were the ones who integrated that lunch counter.
Wow.
Okay. Now you think about that being, 100 years ago. It was not a
No,
hundred
was
years
it?
ago.
No.
Okay. This is stuff that people who are still alive, have
Yes.
experienced. And because we don't take time to hear the stories, we think about it, oh, it's something that's ancient,
And
but
it's
it's
And
not.
it's
It's
not.
not. And
We
it's
were
and
just
it's
we were just in sorority meeting and we were listening to Dr. King discuss
Mhm.
an entire speech of everything 60
yes,
years ago.
Yes. That's still relevant
That's
to
still
today.
relevant
still
today.
relevant today. That
It literally gave
has
me
not
chills.
changed.
It has
Things
not.
that have not changed.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember before my grandmother passed, she was 95 years old, transitioned
Bless
this
her.
year.
Yep.
And we was talking about voting. And when she looked at me, she said, it's not too long ago that I was able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And that resonated to me because I was like, I stand here for all of my ancestors. I was just going through a moment.
Yes, yes,
But it
yes.
just reminds me that we have came into encounter with people that can say, no,
Exactly.
I was not able to vote.
Exactly. And that's the stories we have to continue to share, because
Yeah.
if it's not being told, I would say universally, if
Yes.
no one's saying it, and if
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to tell it, it's going to be, we're allowing to happen what's being done. We're
Mm,
falling in line with that process when we say we are whitewashing our history. If
yes,
we're not doing anything to prevent it, we're adding to that same process. So
that's
we need to
good,
tell the
Commissioner.
story. We have to
That's
tell the
good.
story.
We
Yes.
have to. So, Commissioner, just looking at what's at stake right now,
Yes.
what four amendments are standing out? Looks like the partisan school board elections,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Amendment 2, the right to hunt and fish,
Mm-hmm.
Amendment 3, legislation of recreational marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
and Amendment 4 about the abortion rights.
Yes.
So these are key things that I need all of our listeners, our viewers to take your time to
Mm-hmm.
educate yourself
That's right.
and make
Yes.
a sound decision on how you're going to vote.
Yes. That's important. That's very important. And we are in a time where we like to Google.
Mm-hmm.
I need you not to Google.
Right?
I need you to connect with someone who
Mm-hmm.
has some facts for us,
Yeah,
okay? Because Google, it does what it does,
That's
it
right.
does.
okay? But if you're not if you don't know what you're getting, you don't know that it's not pertinent information,
Yeah.
okay? So with that, when I say ask someone,
Mm-hmm.
our um we have our NAACP. We
Yes.
Yes.
have our state representatives' offices.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. You have those who are working for both the Democratic and the Republican
Mm-hmm.
parties. So
Mm-hmm.
you can reach out and call those offices and ask a question, and
That's
they'll
right.
give you some
And
background to it. And I'll even give this shout out to our news stations. Most of them have gone through the amendments,
yes.
telling you what they are, breaking
Mm-hmm.
it out, giving you a definition, giving you a position to make your own
Yes.
decision.
That's right.
So utilize those resources.
Yes.
So just don't go in and go yes,
No.
no, yes, no,
Yes.
yes, no.
Yes, no, yes,
Because you
no.
see the
Is that
posters and the signs
yes?
and
Or
vote no
that
for this
sounds
and yes
Vote
for
yes for
this.
that. Take your time
yes,
to really educate
Commissioner,
yourself.
I
yes,
was on that
yes,
ballot and I was like this. Hold on, I got to read. I took
yes,
my pencil and went line by line because
yes,
I wanted to
yes.
know.
Let me make sure these words correct.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this because in 2 years we're gonna have another election.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And what we have to embrace is the fact that our local elections are just as important,
Yes, they
mm-hmm.
are.
because we feel local opportunities before we feel it at the level for the federal.
Yep.
That's
So
good.
we need to be able to be a part of the process. Don't stop. Continue to make your votes. Because those who are in Congress and in the Senate and in the House, those are the people we put there, and we
Yes.
need to make sure that they are aligning with the things that we need in our communities and the direction we want to see our country go in. So
Mm-hmm.
this is not the point you vote and say, okay, see you again in 2028. No,
Right.
we need to see you what they call midterm and mid-year
Yes.
elections,
Yes.
mid-cycle elections. We need to be a part of that process as well. And even in that, when I'm putting charges out to everyone who has a platform.
That's right.
This is an opportunity for sororities, fraternities, churches,
That's right.
whomever, best friends. You can
Yes.
have these conversations. We don't have to wait until the election
Yes.
cycle to start talking about what it is we want, who's doing what, who's not doing what's necessary.
Yes.
It needs to be a common conversation.
Mhm.
So let's make that part of our initiatives, because
Yes.
we know, they tell us when they're going to start running for the president. We know that.
Right.
Okay. Same thing with commissioners and whatever other positions that we have. Our judges.
Mm-hmm. That's
All
a,
of these
Yes.
all
things
of
we need
All
to
of these
be
things.
aware of. And we, like I say, we don't have to wait until the election cycle. We should be educated and watching and making sure we are aware of everyone who's running for a position.
I agree, Commissioner. I sit in my kindergarten classrooms and we have conversation about voting. And
Great.
you said that you remember that they had like a little ballot for the kids. I'm just thinking,
Yes.
I got to create something
For
like
your
that
babies.
for my babies, and we're gonna go through that because what
Yes.
happens is the Bible says if you train a child up now, as they
Yes.
get older, they know where to go and they won't
Exactly.
stop
That's
from
right.
it. Yeah.
That's it.
So that was my tidbit. I told you every time I sit with you, Commissioner, it's like I get my notepad out
Like get
and I go
drop
to
the
writing.
gems. She gonna drop them.
Well, listen, y'all make it easy. Y'all make it
Aw.
easy, sisters, to have conversations, because
Yes.
as much as you say I'm feeding into you, you all are feeding into me, and I'm
Aw.
grateful for the conversations, because
Yes.
I believe every situation has a conversation and a opportunity
Yes.
where
Yes,
we can learn from one another.
that's
You
right.
know, every opportunity. I had a great privilege today. I was at William Dandy
Okay.
Go
Middle
out.
School. Yes, seventh graders, females. I had the just with the young ladies. It was a awesome conversation, and I
Yes.
was explaining to them, I don't like to put down any job career that anyone is doing. I
Yes.
believe that everything you do is an opportunity to learn.
That's
You
right.
know, if you start at McDonald's, they have management opportunities. I
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
was a swing manager at McDonald's when I was 17.
Nice.
You don't even know where this is going. I
Right.
worked at Marshall's at a point, and we do what we do and you get where you're going.
Right.
But
Yes.
everywhere I went, I learned how to interact with customers. Customer service,
Has
that's something we need to
everything.
revisit. We
Number
need to
one.
revisit, okay? Because
Just
we need to know how to interact with
mm-hmm.
everyone we come in contact with.
With people.
So, exactly, exactly. And with all of that being said, you know, back to being a part of process, right? Being a
Mm-hmm.
part of what's going on. We also need to make sure that we're always at the table.
Yes.
Okay. And we saying that thing now. If they don't have room, bring your own chair. Bring your chair to the
That's
table.
right.
Okay.
That's
But
right.
there are
Yeah.
opportunities that we're not taking advantage of.
Absolutely.
Okay. Special locally, we have every municipality, they have their commission meetings,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
And they're usually at unique times like 6:30 in the evening or
yeah.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But I always remind people, if you're working, someone is not working,
Yeah.
encourage them to be a part of that process. Because here in the city of Fort Lauderdale, again, I always say, I'm the only African American on the dais, and I'm the
Yes.
only woman on the dais right
Yes.
now.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's things that come up that we're talking about that I really have to go, okay, wait a minute. Okay. We having this conversation. Don't overlook or think
Mm-hmm.
because of this vessel that I'm in
Come
that we're
on.
going to disrespect and that we're
Correct.
not going to address the situation that we're in.
That's
But
right.
with that, I need my neighbors
Mhm.
Yes.
in the room with me.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I can hold that banner up. Right.
Mhm.
But what happened when my arms get tired?
That's right. You need somebody to catch you.
I need someone. I need that backup. And then also, we want to be able to look across that audience and see those individuals who have vested. They have concerns. They're there to make sure that this process is working for me. And I'm not just a proxy. I sent in my vote, but I'm in the room to follow through with the process.
Every change gives a supply.
Yeah.
Yes.
Commissioner, I always tell people social media is not the place to address the issue. The place to address the issue is in the meetings that you guys are having. I stress this as much as I possibly can, especially to my parents, that you guys got to go to these meetings, school board meetings. You have to show. You're not
exactly.
Guess
That's
what?
it. Dr. Storm said school board meetings. Yes. You know, school board meetings, commission meetings. Listen, I even say trustee board meetings at your church. Whatever there's an opportunity.
Just show up.
You need to show up. Okay. And yes, you voted me in, and I thank you for trusting me with this. But again, we have to do this together. This is not a Pam mission.
That's right.
Okay. This is a community mission.
That's
right.
And
I never want to be where I don't know what it is my neighbors want. When I give my vote, I want to know that I'm lining up with what my neighbors want. It doesn't, because I'm 25% of a vote.
Right.
I'm 25% of a vote. So if there's something that you want to push harder, you want me to push harder, I need that 25 cents to echo in the room where others to say, oh, they do want that.
That's right.
So that part of the conversation.
You're getting some amazing love by our audience. We have Tanisha Simpkins. She states, great leader of the community.
Oh.
Like she said it. Peanut is actually my honorary mom. You are absolutely 100% be informed, get educated so we can make the right decision. Like we have to be informed in making these decisions. You have so much love on this platform. I just want you to know, like everyone is giving you all your accolades, your kudos, your flowers, all of these.
Commissioner, you that girl now.
That girl.
Listen, I give God all the glory, and I don't know if y'all seen me. I'm a cheerful tear. I tear a lot, and I tell people, I said, don't think it's a tear of weakness,
right? No,
because it's not. Okay, when you see tears flowing for me, it's a rejoicing, it's a worship, and it's never perceive it as being weak. So I like to put that out there because we were taught, don't let them see you cry.
No, you got to.
Okay. But listen, don't and what does it? Don't get it twisted. Is that it? Don't get it twisted.
Fix that jacket when you have. I said, well, I'll be fixing my jacket like that. And you have to sit up straight.
That's it. I have to say, not today. Not today. Okay.
So, Commissioner, the latest updates that we received within Broward County, it states that as of now, there's 60.33% eligible voters that have cast their ballot.
Yes.
So we have to ensure that everyone shows up tomorrow at the polls that open up at 7 a.m.
Yes. Yes.
They must be in line by 7 p.m. the absolute latest to vote tomorrow, guys.
So your vote count.
For it to count.
Yes. And let us remind everyone, tomorrow you have to vote at your precinct.
Yes.
Okay. The privilege of early voting, it allows you to vote within your county. I like to say that too, because sometimes people work in a different county and they think they can vote in that county, but it's within your county. And then tomorrow you must vote at your precinct. Okay. And I encourage everyone to give yourself ample time. Because, a lot of people are saying that they're voting still tomorrow. Because you have those who, they have that tradition. They want to vote on the day. And I respect that. But there's still, we still got 40% out there who are eligible.
That's right.
So let's hope that they all show up.
I need y'all to show up.
You need to show up and cast your ballot and be proud that you have done so.
Yes.
And give you and guys, when you're in line, I understand that sometimes the lines are sometimes long. Give yourself some grace.
Yes.
And know that
Bring
you're making a difference. If you got to bring one of your yard chairs or fold them up and just kind of have a family tradition out there.
That's it.
Yes,
but give yourself some grace, but don't allow the wait time to agitate you where you're not going to cash your vote.
And to add to that, guys, so make sure you go to iwillvote.com to get additional information on where you can actually vote at your precinct, checking your registration, your voter registration status.
That's right.
You can check there as well. It's iwillvote.com is where you can also check that information.
So y'all can go in there right now and make sure we up to date.
Yes.
So 7 o'clock, we up and out, and we're doing our civic duty to get out.
Yes. We got to get those votes, guys. We have to vote.
That's it. And if I can just add this also, those of us who have voted, have a plan for tomorrow.
Yes.
Check in with others to see if they have voted. Someone may need a ride, and if you're available, give them that ride. Okay, because we got to do all we can to make sure. And I keep saying when I wake up on Thursday, I say Thursday because I want to clarify this. Wednesday, we're going to wake up and we're going to kind of be like in a election hangover.
Right.
Thursday, your mind is going to be completely clear.
Yes.
And we're going to know exactly where we stand.
Yes.
So on Thursday, when we wake up and we're in a full knowledge and understanding of who our president is, you want to be able to say, yes, I was in there. I made sure I had a plan. I called my sister, my cousin, my cousin. You know how we do it. My play cousin, all of them cousins. You want to make sure that we reached out and made sure we reminded them to be a part of this process. We know we can't register to vote that day, but those who are registered and are just kind of like, we got to get them off of the and get them to the point where they bubble in and vote. And then and listen, yes, I stay on my line, no line, okay, but vote.
I love it. Commissioner, I also want you just to let our audience know how they can follow you. I know we have an amazing tech team.
Oh, yes, we do. Listen, I am very blessed with my creation team that works with me because when this all started, the social media, I was pretty much active. I was a Facebook girl and I was doing that thing, and somewhere there, I was like, okay, enough of that. So now, but with my team, and then also my daughters, they help me stay on track with things. But we do have Facebook. We do have Facebook. Commissioner Pam Beasley-Pittman. Instagram, Commissioner Pam Beasley-Pittman.
That's right.
City of Fort Lauderdale, my phone number, I'm going to put it out there because if you need something, please call us. And we do our best. My staff, again, Jeanette Frey and Jamil Walker are awesome. And I like to say we can't solve every problem, okay? Because some things are not in our scope. And that's what we have to help direct people in the right direction. And they're awesome with that as well. But you can reach us at 954-828-5011.
Yes.
954-828-5011. And then my email address is just that. It's P. Beasley-Pittman at Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is spelled out. .gov. Okay, and you can now with that you can Google me and it'll give it
to you. Just go on the city website. She's there, y'all.
Just Google me.
Just Google me. Now that was mind blowing. The first time somebody said, "Girl, you Googled yourself." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Ooh."
Is that me? Who me? Is this what comes? Oh, that picture look real good. They captured my good side.
Listen, that is so awesome. We got it up.
Awesome. Yes, that's it right there. I see it. Yes,
that's perfect.
You. Thank you.
Shout out to my tech team.
Right.
Yes.
Commissioner, this is good.
This was really good. I'm so thankful and honored to have you on our podcast. Never in a million years What I think Ashley D and Dr. Storm got the
Oh
commissioner.
my
Oh my gosh.
goodness. Oh my
Listen,
goodness.
Because
What,
I told Ashley, I said, wait, Commissioner said whatever we need, let her know. Because I
exactly.
tell people the Bible says, can you share receipts?
I just made
That's
a phone
it.
call. That's it. You know.
That's it. And I'm glad that you all remembered that because
Yes.
like I said, I'm
Well,
humbled to be
yes.
able to have this conversation with us, with my neighbors. I
Yes.
tell everybody I don't like that word constituents. I don't even
There
know
you
what
go.
that means, but we're neighbors.
That's
Yes.
right.
The
Yes.
word asks us, how do we treat our neighbors?
Mm.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's the word that it was being used before I got to the city.
Yes.
But I continued to use it
Mm-hmm.
because I believe in my neighbors, not
Yes.
That's
my constituents. I want to be able to be available and approachable where we
Yes.
can get
Always.
what we need done. And
Always.
and I don't know if I'm taking advantage of an opportunity, but I'm gonna say
Come on.
this if you allow me.
Come on.
let's go.
Um, my responsibilities as a commissioner is that we know that I have to address budget issues,
Yes.
ordinance issues,
Hmm.
different infrastructure,
Yes.
economic development, and things of that matter. But
Uh-huh.
where I'm going with this, in our district, the foundation, being able to have a mindset, a change. We
Mm-hmm.
want to set that foundation where we have the legacy and the heritage where it returns, where everyone knows the value
Yes.
of themselves and the communities that they live in.
That's good.
Because when I tell you that some of us are missing it,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
where, the center of my district is the Six Trunk Corridor,
Okay.
Yes.
and we still have individuals who do not believe that this is the place to be.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. But we have other individuals who don't necessarily haven't grew up in this community.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a tie to this community.
Yep.
However, they get it.
They're taking full advantage of
They're
it.
Yes.
taking full advantage and they're here living a beautiful life here.
It's amazing.
They're
Yep.
walking their dogs.
Yep.
They're
I
pushing
We
see
their
it.
got the
babies
high
in baby
rises.
carriages,
Yes.
Listen.
and they are embracing the
Yes.
community. They're
Yes.
saying, "Hi, how you doing?" And they're keeping it moving.
That's
But
right.
Yes.
some of us don't haven't gravitated to
Towards. Yes.
understand
Hmm.
that this is value. And
Yes.
that's part of what we're going to accomplish here because I
Oh man.
always say with the city and these responsibilities,
Hmm.
yes, we're going to accomplish those, but I would not be comfortable in my heart if
Uh-huh.
Yes.
we don't begin to elevate the relationship, the legacy, the heritage, and the value that is possessed in this district.
And that's why you are the amazing
Commissioner.
commissioner. And it's like
Three.
no other. And it's
Oh,
all about the experience.
Yes.
When anyone comes, I'm going to say this for everybody. When anyone comes in contact with you, Commissioner, it's almost like you just feel them back up.
Yeah.
Because all throughout the hunt, I was taking notes. I'm full. I'm so full. Um,
Listen, Commissioner, every time I'm interacting with you, you're like, Ashley, what do you need? I'm like, God, does she see straight through me?
yes.
And I just love it every time. I'm like, I'm gonna get back with you. I'll call your assistant and let you know.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
I just love it. I love everything about this bond that you've allowed us to have. And just being open with us, having the open door policy. I look at our city and I'm amazed. I literally grew up in Lauderdale Manors and I'm just looking at Six Trump and I'm like,
It has
wow.
It's like a whole new world.
Yes.
And sometimes when I'm driving down there, I have to look up like this and I'm looking like I'm like, well, when did this get here?
Yeah.
And it's flourishing in a way that I told my mom, I said, I want to buy something down there in Six Trump because
Do it. Do
beautiful.
it. And that's something that we have to do. We don't, take it from a dream and make it
Mhm.
reality.
Come
Yeah.
on.
And this is something that I'm learning, and I'm guilty as well because I've been born and raised my whole life here, lived in
Mhm.
this community over
Yeah.
30 years, and watching things transition, and never jumped in to say, "Hey, I'm gonna purchase this lot."
Yeah.
A lot. If it wasn't a lot. And
Mhm.
these things they're different now, but what I hope to do with embracing again the millennials, the
Yes,
Generation Z, and the Alpha, preparing them for the turnover. Because
That's
what
right.
I've learned in these last 24 months, a building lifespan is about 30 years.
Mm.
Okay. And
Mhm.
that's when they begin to change hands or they begin to come down and they want to do something different. So if we begin to prepare our young people for that turnover, we'll
Yeah.
be the ones buying the land and buying the buildings back
Come
Mhm.
on,
to do what
Commissioner.
we want to do.
That's
It's a plan. We have
That's
to believe that we can do it and
that's
we can do
it.
it.
We
that's
can and we will.
that's
We
that
will.
blueprint.
That's it.
We got
That's
this,
it.
y'all. We appreciate you, Commissioner. We are looking forward to our next episode that will be on November the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to have Apostle Cynthia Farmer
Yes.
on. So we
Okay.
are looking, listen, from Maryland. Like,
Yes.
she's
Yes. Yes.
amazing. She's going to be on. So we are looking forward to her joining in with us.
Mhm.
Commissioner, my heart is so full. I'm quiet and I'm just smiling because my heart is so full. I always dreamed of this moment of just having a podcast and having such prestigious like women just coming in and pouring in us and just giving us every tool that we need to get to the next level. Like my heart is so full today.
And we have work to do.
Yes.
A
Okay.
lot
And
of
this
work.
is just the stepping stone, the first step in that direction. And with everyone that's out there watching, you see that we got the number and the email up for contact. We need everyone's help. If you are that kindred spirit who likes to be a part of the
Yeah.
process, and maybe you don't know where to get in, where to jump in, listen, we can ask you the question. We can place you
That's
where
right.
you want to be utilized.
That's
Yes.
right.
Okay? Because when I tell you, if we're going to achieve the things that we want to achieve,
Mhm.
we have to do it together. Unity in the community. I love to put that out there.
I love that.
Unity in the community. All
That's
right.
right.
But
And
this is
every chain gives a supply.
that's it.
I
That's
love
it
it.
right there. But
I
thank
love
you. I
it.
thank you all for this
Thank you
opportunity.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
My heart, soul, mind, and spirit is full.
We love you, Commissioner. You have a wonderful evening. And
Thank
you know I'll
you.
see you in the city very soon.
Thank you. Listen, love and blessings. God bless you all.
Blessings.
Continue on your mission. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.